By extra.
Okay,
Good
well, I gotta go,
evening.
guys.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels, where Matt and I have already scared Terry Moore off. He was going to tell us all sorts of stuff about his Kickstarter. And then Matt started to talk about possibly using hygiene products to draw something and was going to say, I've got access because I've got a wife and two daughters, and then decided not to. But I'm that friend that did
Matt.
it for you, Matt.
Oh, Matt.
I'll send Belle the link tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Hey Terry, how's it going?
It's going good. Going good.
It's going good. You're back at Kickstarter, another wildly successful one, as you're at only 75,563 out of your $25,000 goal with 3 weeks to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
leave
might
some
make
money
it.
for the other guys, Terry.
I'm hoping that we get to 1 million. Our 20th stretch goal, if we get to $1 million, is everybody gets a pony.
Oh, I mean, okay. I'll get my wife on like just plastering Instagram and telling everybody that if they get to $1 million, you get not just a comic but a pony.
Yeah, no, I didn't say if it was alive or how big it was, but yeah.
Stuffed animal.
I mean, even if it was just a Terry Moore hand-drawn pony sketch, I think most people would be happy with that.
Oh, well, thank you very kindly.
I mean, and I know you can draw horses now because you did it for
Yeah.
trigger warning.
Yeah, I did. I had to, and horses and cows are famously hard to draw. You
Right.
notice a lot of artists will go straight to the buzzard or the raven, but a horse, oh, that's for later, It's horses are hard because they don't work like us. It's you keep wanting to put human legs on them and they look now you got a fantasy story. It looks weird.
That's why anyone that drew Western comics back in the day has my utmost respect. Because
Oh
that's
yeah.
not something I would want to do.
No.
Yeah.
And they're big. So they
Mhm.
pull the frame. Where are you going to put that horse? He can't always be 20 feet behind us.
Exactly.
They got to think it through, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like these are the ways that you and Matt think that I only think about when somebody happens to have done it really, really long and published it anyway. And even then, I just generally go, but I get the story, and that looks like it was hard to do.
They tried.
It was a valiant effort.
Yeah.
So, Terry, give us the front counter pitch for how to draw and tell us what's new about the 2026 version.
Okay.
Since you did call it Terry Moore's How to Draw 2026.
2026.
And please tell me 2026 is way prettier than 2025.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. From your lips to God's ear. So yeah, the new book is the original guy, this guy, look how thin it is. I think it's like 140 pages. Yeah.
Something
And
like that.
about 9 chapters, 7 chapters. Anyway, it kind of did an overview of everything I do in my routine and what I focus on in terms of like how to draw women, body language, expressions, things like that. It's the new one. That book's been long out of print. It came out 5 years ago and it's been out of print for years. So I want it back on my shelf and I want it out there for people. So I thought, well, okay, let's update it again. And I've added a lot more material. It's like, 50% is bigger again, more pages and chapters on inking and Art Nouveau and things like that, and update all the art throughout it. Just kind of make it modern. And I had to go in there and start looking at the text because the text was saying things that needed to be updated. Like I would say, now George Perez uses a Haunt 102 pen or whatever. And I thought, no, he doesn't. Not today. I have to change that language. And so
George Perez used
to use,
sadly.
Yes, very sadly. So I'm going through there and, editing copy editing all that and updating everything. And some things are silly, like, oh, you can find that at your nearest art store. But people, just go online and buy it. They don't have to hope that their art store has it. You can go online to an art store in St. Louis or something. They have it. And you get it sent to you. So things like that. Update it. So it's good for 26 and beyond.
At least until 27 or 28 when you decide that like you need another successful Kickstarter.
No, if I do another Kickstarter after that book, it'll be a story. And I have an idea in mind that the last Kickstarter and this one, I'm doing a single issue comic. So
Right.
the last one I did a Strangers in Paradise one shot. This one I'm offering a Rachel Rising one shot. And then I'm going to come up with another book for Kickstarter, but it's going to be story stuff. And that one's going to have an Echo one shot. And then I'll do a Mother Girl one shot and a Parker Girls one shot. And then collect all of those one shots together in one anthology, like a short collection of James Bond stories.
See, like, don't get me wrong. I think that plan is good, but the more lucrative plan, comic fans being what they are and needing the best version. If instead of doing that, once you had all those one shots out, you brought out the new revised hardcover complete Strangers in Paradise, including trigger warning, people like me who'd spent $250 already would do it again.
Really? For one chapter?
I mean, you might have to add a little bit more, but if it was like that chapter and commentary,
no,
director's commentary.
I think we need to.
I would have to at least really, really think about it.
I think we need to think bigger. What I would like to do is have, if you buy a new Ferrari, you get trigger warning. How much incentive?
But I don't want a Ferrari.
I see, that's my problem. Nobody wants to buy a Ferrari anymore.
I don't want a Ferrari.
It's a tough market.
I'm looking at this Abstract Studio exclusive gallery edition of Strangers in Paradise, and that looks pretty. But a Ferrari? I mean, what would I do with a Ferrari?
You're in Chicago. It's going to sit in the garage half the year.
Yeah, you can't read a Ferrari. I wouldn't want to take it on the roads in Chicago because, like, there are other cars that could damage my Ferrari. I mean, have you watched Ferris Bueller?
I knew it.
That's one of my favorite movies, by the way, because I had a crush on Mia.
Mine too.
So cute.
Who didn't?
Best girlfriend ever. Just she was happy to do whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's so Matt, you got to ask some drawing questions. You've read the old books. I mean, I've read the old books, but they don't make sense to me because they make sense to me as pretty. But you read the old books and did stuff with them.
I'm honestly more interested in knowing about, what are your future projects? Are we going to see Rachel Rising? I mean, that's where my head's at.
Well, I mean, we will certainly get to that, but we don't want to do any drawing stuff. Terry does fantastic drawing videos on.
He does. I've seen many of them.
That are almost like my ASMR. You have such a soothing voice, Terry.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been working real hard on my art, and so years of study, and you can draw like me too.
Nice.
Okay, I want you to send that to me now.
I'll send it to you as a high-res JPEG file.
That's fair.
Terry, are you 100% physical media, or do you do anything digitally?
I make everything on the drawing board behind me, old-fashioned, old school. I really adore that. Asking me that question, it's like asking, do you play an old-fashioned wood guitar, or do you just play synthesizers now? So that's.
I was going to ask if you played Rock Band at all.
Yeah, a little 2-button, 3-button.
Are you good with those buttons and the switch?
Yeah, the little Mellotronic flute things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I still love making pages on paper, and my thinking on it has always been the same, that at the end of the day, I have that in front of me, like something I could hang up on the wall or frame, and it makes me happy. Versus if I work all day on a tablet, at the end of the day, what I have is a JPEG, and
Hmm.
that doesn't make me happy at all.
Not until you go
It's,
get a really good printer.
it's a really fast way to work. Digitally it's a much faster way to work. You have a lot more options. So what
Hmm.
I'm doing is actually kind of old school. It's like being a pianist who really specializes in Chopin or something. It's not the modern world, but I love it and adore it. So I do it. But when I do get that original page done, this 11 by 17, then I scan it and put it in Photoshop, and I'll do all the final tweaking and finishing in Photoshop in terms of like specs and measurements.
Hmm.
Uh, and I can do, if I'm on a deadline, a lot of my correction work is done in Photoshop,
That's
whether,
my next question.
yeah, my whiteouts, blackouts, or adding effects like in Rachel Rising, the demons talk with inverted balloons that are black with white letters. That's just a Photoshop thing.
Hmm.
Stuff like that. Sometimes, if I'm really on a deadline, in the wall, I may have a half circle black and white wall. I'll leave on the original art, that top half of the circle is clear. I'll put it in Photoshop. I just paint bucket that black right on
Yep.
there.
Oh, sure.
So much faster. And then later on, if I'm going to sell the page, I put it back out on the table and get up my Q-tip and black in all that black area.
Hmm.
Sounds
So
like
yeah,
a
it's a kind of I'm still working on Photoshop as if it's 1996,
right.
but it's good to finish out and get
See, I
ready.
I do have to ask a question though about one of the things that you said there, because like Abstract Studio is you. So like how do you wind up on a tight deadline?
You're right.
Mm. Well, I was pretty good with deadlines even when it was just me. But when my wife realized that I was making money, she got involved and turned it into a real business.
Right.
And once we got into a real business, it was about staying on deadline, keeping commitments. So because I'm doing everything, I can't do a new issue every 4 weeks. So when I was doing all my books, I did them every 6 weeks. And that was all I could handle because it would take me, you know, 5 weeks to get the pages made and then a week to do, the cover and the finishes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and then it's time to do another one. And that's what I did for 30 years straight. So yeah, when you have other people depending on you, and the next issue is making the house payment, you have a deadline.
Okay.
It's
Well,
not a
but
hobby. It's not a hobby.
no, no, I knew that it wasn't a hobby. I was just trying to figure out exactly how, because obviously it's a slightly different deadline in that you will not lose the job because it was given to somebody else.
True.
Losing the
Uh,
house is bad. So like if you're planning
Using
around
the
it
house
needs
is
to be
hard.
out for the house payment. Um,
I would rather that
but
there have been times I would rather they give the book to, another artist. But let them do it.
Job security and housing security are
I'm done
very
with
different
Rachel
things.
Rising. I mean, you know that you could hire people, Terry.
Hmm. Well, we'll just leave that thought there on the table.
You could probably even hire them cheap. They go, I can draw that for you. I mean, this is kind of like why I didn't understand why George Lucas didn't get the best up and coming screenwriters and directors to do the prequel trilogy, because like tell me that Quentin Tarantino wouldn't have worked for free to do Star Wars.
Hmm.
That's called arrogance, I think.
The problem is they walk in with their approach, and then when you see the final result, you think, that's not what I pictured. And it's their vision.
It's not how I would
That
have
I
done it.
get.
It's
But
like the
but
three of
then
us.
then we go back to you don't actually want to give up drawing.
No, not really. I mean, it's my tantrum, but I can't let go.
Right.
Like if the three of us went and saw a concert, we would come back with three different reports. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you saw the visuals, you saw the music, and then I was looking only at the roadies, and I give a totally different story or whatever, you know. So that's how it is with making these stories. It's like, okay, you're going to draw an issue of Rachel Rising. Well, what I'm thinking of is two things I'm always thinking of is all the visual storytelling should work without the script. So you could follow the visual and you would still get it. But I also want to lay in Easter eggs for everything that's coming. And so if I want you to start feeling agitated or pissed off, I start putting little things in the scenes in the background that are unsettling, you know. And I start working towards it so that by the time you get to page 17 and somebody says something incendiary, I've already tried to work you up into, you know, a little bit agitated before I even got there. You know, you try to, just like a movie, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I look for things like that. And if I give a script to another artist, they're just going to draw the script. Here's a room, here's two guys talking, somebody put their fist through a wall. Now there's an airplane, there's a balloon, the tree exploded. That's all I'm going to get back. I'm not going to get all those little things in there that give you subliminal stuff, you know. Is that too much control?
No,
No.
no. I mean, again, I was just messing with you because I mean, on one side, I always love to see what great creators do with other people's toys. Like I enjoy it when there will be a pinup gallery at the back of Saga, or like Wes Craig with his Kaya, like at the end of every story arc, he does one issue where he writes like three short stories for other artists to draw or whatnot. But like at the same time, the idea of like too much of Francine or Kachu or any of my other beloved characters not looking exactly how I expect them to look would be awkward.
Um,
I mean, I have a love-hate
yeah.
relationship when the Hernandez brothers draw each other's characters.
And that is so understandable. I get that. I feel that.
I'll give you an example of me working on somebody else's story, characters. Like when I did a Mary Jane Spider-Man book.
I loved that book.
Thank you. Um, I always held back in how Peter looks at Mary Jane because in my mind, she's number two.
Right? You're a
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy fan.
Yeah. She's the rebound. And
In
he
fact,
lost a lot of
that reminds me, you were supposed to send Matt a Gwen Stacy sketch for him to ink and us to make into a T-shirt for you.
T-shirt. Yes.
Oh, really?
We agreed to that last time you were on.
I
You
think
said you
that
had Gwen Stacy sketches out the wazoo. You just
I
didn't feel
do.
like inking any of them. And
No.
Matt said, I'll ink it.
I did. My hand went up faster than Tad's.
I'm gonna make a note.
So I need a high res digital scan of the little squiggly
Gwen
that you
Stacy.
just drew.
Uh-huh.
Gwen sketch to Matt. Is it you want a good one or a really crappy one? Your
No,
choice.
it's got to be good. It's got to be good
Whatever
enough that we
you
can turn
like
it into a T-shirt and send you one, and we'll wear the other ones.
Oh, okay.
We would never sell it. It'd be 3 T-shirts, you, me, and Matt.
That'd be cool.
It'd get my wife her favorite emulsion for silk screening like stop becoming easy to get, and she's messed around with a couple others and not managed to like make them work the way she wants them to. So like you send a sketch that Matt can ink, and I think that Kelly will commit herself to figuring out a new set of tools for silk screening so that I can have more T-shirts again. It's been a while since I got
Do
my
that in
regular birthday presents of just a slew of t-shirts.
and we could
She's
do that
spending
in a
money
way
on
that
me
it's fun.
instead.
I could do it in black and white with just like 2 or 3 color accents, like mid-century design or something.
Well, see, that's harder because she really only does one color silkscreen.
One color,
Yeah, that's why
black
you
and
with a
white.
pencil sketch and then Matt inking it to make it bolder to make it easier to silkscreen is perfect.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
black and white
yeah, yeah.
or pink. I'm making you a pink one.
I love it. So, um, you said that the next one is going to be original stuff. Are you already at work? Do you have ideas? Are you willing to
No,
shout it all, or is it top secret?
yeah, if you talk about it before it exists, you kill it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't exist, I get it. But does that mean that it doesn't exist in its entirety, or have you been like, because you just talked about deadlines, and one of the advantages being you now and having back catalog that you can put into new packaging and put on Kickstarter is you can give yourself runtime. You know, you're not having to do as much new work for the stuff that you've had out on Kickstarter. So have you been working on something that we're going to get to see, or you've been taking a nice much needed break? Because like the last time we talked to you, you talked about like people talking about like you got to go see things so that you can draw them and whatnot. And you're like, when? I haven't left my drawing table in 30
30
years.
years. Yep.
That's true. Not leaving your drawing table is how you make deadlines.
Yep.
But I did spend like the last 18 months traveling. I've taken probably 20 trips this year
Okay.
and like
Well, you earned them.
learn them, but
Absolutely.
they take you away.
Yep.
And you know, like several of them were overseas, and then the same last year. I did the same amount last year. Um, so a lot of traveling and all that. But
Terry, can I ask you a quick question? Has your travel schedule changed due to the political climate now, or just want to get back to work and get focused?
um, it was the travel schedule was set at the first of the year, and it was daunting looking. And then so I was doing it, and then by the time you get to the end of the summer and you still have 8 more trips to go between the summer and November, I'm thinking, God, let's just get through this. And I was just off. Um, so yeah, it was just one of those things where, uh, you know, the traveling all just kind of built up for some reason, one reason or the other. And, you know, a couple of them were really great, like going back to Italy for work and promotion, and then going to the convention in Oslo, Norway was fun. But
Oh, nice.
yeah, so
I have
getting around
family
the
in
world was fun.
Oslo. One day I
You
should
do?
visit them. Yeah.
Yeah, you
I don't
should.
know them. My mom knows them. She went 30 years ago.
Never call ahead, grease the skids. You can go
Right.
visit.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think my Aunt
Oslo,
Janet's gone over more recently. We've got family in Oslo and family in Bergen. You know, my
I got to
grandmother was
tell you,
100% Norwegian.
Oslo, I was a little gobsmacked and intimidated because easily half the people there are tall and gorgeous, male and female. They look like Olympians. That is the most wonderful looking people I've ever seen. Half of them look like Olympians, and the other half look character drawings, you know. But prettiest people I've ever seen, you know, and all of them tall, way, way taller than me. I'm 5'10", and I was
Okay.
looking at everyone. So yeah, but
Yeah.
really beautiful people.
I'm 5'9"
Yeah,
and three
no,
quarters, so I get it.
Yeah.
no, that's right. I am taller than you. I'm 5'10" and a half. I think you might have that half inch though, Terry, because you and I seemed like we were the same height when I met you in person.
Oh, okay.
But I
I'm
know Matt's a little bit shorter than
I'm
me.
a tiny bit shorter.
I like to
Absolutely.
I
hold it. Overrated.
We may have been wearing our high heels and Matt wears his flip-flops. So the great thing about being 5'10" is you fit into every sports car. Back to that Ferrari again, just saying.
Yep. Yep.
Well, not me though, because all of my height is in my torso.
You need a Porsche then.
Yeah.
Porsche has lots of elbow room.
I mean, this is why I like Hondas. They're like really the only car where I consistently don't bump my head sitting down in them.
That makes no sense because everyone in Japan is shorter than us and skinnier than us.
I don't know what to say.
They made them for us. And they just made these big wide seats for us, I guess.
I mean, well, because like Toyotas, like I have to duck my head to get in. Mazdas, I can't drive easily because my head bumps the ceiling.
I've been in a car like that, and I shouldn't be in a car like that.
Mhm.
Right. Well, but again, I'm not tall. I just like I mean, I always laugh because my brother is like 6'3", 6'4". And if we sit down at a table, it's hard to tell which one of us is taller.
Mm.
But when we stand up,
And he has the legs.
he's got the legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Peter-
dated girls as much as a foot shorter than me who had longer legs than I did.
Uh-huh. My wife has
talking about
longer
Peter?
legs. She's all legs.
What was that, Matt?
Are you talking about Peter?
Yeah.
He's 6'3"?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, I know. But well, again, because you're seeing us both on Zoom. So we
Yup.
look really similar. You're seeing
Yeah,
the same amount of us.
I'm shocked.
But when we stand next to each other, he's
Dang.
Wish I could say I was 6'3" and I've been crouching all these years.
well, I mean,
It's
just
just a hunch
find a
from the
5'6"
drawing
guy to
board.
walk around with
Yeah.
and say that he's 6 foot. Nobody will question you. What was the most fun trip? I mean, you talked about Italy and Oslo. What other fun places? I mean, you've done a lot of traveling last couple of years. I mean, I know Chicago was the best because you got to hang out with me for half an hour, but
Yeah.
you know,
and
I mean,
I'm coming
other
back-
than that,
Coming back next year, I'm coming to C2E2 next year.
are
too.
you?
Yeah, looking forward
Well, then I'm going to tell you now that we should actually do a meal this time.
to
Because we're talking about it ahead of time rather than me going, oh my God, Terry Moore's going to be there. I got to go say hi.
Yeah, we should because I'm hungry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know where good food is in Chicago.
I've heard they may have a good restaurant somewhere.
A couple
One or
of them.
two. One or two.
A couple of them. I took another comic book friend of mine out to pizza recently, and he was quite happy about that.
You know, Keith is the one, his family taught me how to eat pizza right they all put pepper on it.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I started putting pepper on the pizza, and it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me in my whole life, besides my children.
Well, yeah, you got to get that in really well. Maybe Robin.
Yeah.
Pepper on pizza.
Yeah. Pepper on pizza, Robin, children. Yeah. All in there somewhere. But yes, if you put sprinkle pepper all over your pizza, now it has a bite to it, and it's good. It just changes it from a cheese sandwich to a real bite of something that you love.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, think about it hard.
I will.
Think of-
I've done some crazy stuff on pizza, and often because of
Thinking
comic
about
book people.
Oysters and mussels
No. Paul Tobin in one of his comics, and when I had him on, I asked if he'd ever done this or if this was just a gag in one of the comics. Introduced me to peanut butter on pizza.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
I hadn't, but I'm like, okay, I don't know if this is a gag or not. But then I had Paul on. I'm like, so is it a thing? And he's like, yeah. I mean, I don't do it all the time, but I've done it and I don't regret it. I'm like, okay, now I have to have a pizza peanut butter sandwich, and I did, and I enjoyed it. I wouldn't necessarily have it on a regular basis, but I did enjoy it. And I'm thinking next time I might add jelly.
Crazy. I was there the night that was invented. It was at a crackhead party in San Francisco. They were whacked out of their minds. They thought it was peanut butter, but it wasn't. And I'll stop the story there. I don't want to put you off if you love
This is the early 90s.
All the regrettable food comes from San Francisco, so just think about that.
I mean, You're not entirely wrong.
Did they put the pineapple on the pizza first?
Hey,
Yes.
don't mess with pineapple on pizza.
I'm joking. I love pineapple on pizza.
So we fell down a rabbit hole. I was asking where have the fun visits been? That was like an hour ago.
Yeah.
The one that I remember, some of these places had gone back for the umpteenth time. So it's just kind of like, I'm not there to sightsee. I'm just there to do my thing.
Right.
The one that I did go to for the first time ever was in the last year. I went to England twice. And the second time I went up into the middle of the country where all the PBS detective shows are
Okay.
shot. The pretty
Right.
meadows, the little
Mhm.
towns with the little windy street. Uh,
Cool.
I loved it. It
Was
was
that for lakes or Thought
yes,
Bubble or
lakes,
lakes?
lakes. I've
Yeah,
been to Thought Bubble too,
yeah,
actually.
lakes and Thought Bubble are both very much on my dream list.
Lakes was beautiful, and it turns out that the little town, which looks like one of those AI calm music channels on YouTube that has the streets like that. And it turned out to be the home place of the lady who did The Little Bunny. Henry Potter? No, not Potter.
Oh, Beatrix Potter?
Beatrix Potter, yes. I was trying
Cool.
to separate it from Harry Potter. Beatrix
Mhm.
Potter and the Little
Yeah.
Bunnies. So there were little shops there with all that kind of stuff around. And um,
Man, did they know your audience? All the bunnies behind you right now. Now I understand.
it's all about the bunnies, dude. You can never have too many bunnies on your side. And they are loyal friends. I have seen those guys turn and take down a grown man before you can blink.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. We have bunnies in our yard.
I
Um,
saw Monty Python's Holy Grail. I get it.
Yeah,
we have lots of bunnies in the yard,
not the brown kind.
and sometimes they stick somehow they stick around even though they have the dog that chases them in the backyard and the four cats that like stare at them from the windows.
Mm.
They're not skittish.
I think they play with the dog. They like to remind him that he's old and slow,
Yeah,
at least
not
compared
fast.
to them.
Yes.
Birds do that. Blackbirds would do that. They're smart.
Oh, see, my favorite with birds is I had a cat that I swear to God, like, must have been a hypnotist because he would sit in the window and stare at the birds in the tree until they freaked out and dive bombed him and knocked themselves out on the glass. One day I came home to work from work and there were three knocked out birds. They never died, but three knocked out birds still kind of waking up in the bush in front of them.
Did we get him, guys?
And I see my cat Matt just sit in the window like
He must have convinced them he was going to come get the nest, and they thought, no, I got to run
yeah,
him off.
no, yeah. That's the only thing I can come up with is that like he somehow got it into their head that they couldn't run.
Yeah.
Fighting was their only option, and then they slammed into the
What kind
glass.
of birds were these? Were these little or big? Was it like sparrows or what? Oh man, his house has been nuked.
Did he pause?
The
Oh, he
feed.
did freeze. He froze. Oh
Oh,
no.
I froze. You guys are froze. Oh, there we go. I said everything from robins to crows.
Oh wow.
No, robins are not very bright.
Well,
Crows are very bright.
it's easy to get someone's goat when you know where it's tied.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm gonna get your eggs. And they're like, no, you're not.
I have never heard that expression before. I thought I'd heard them all.
No, my wife's a teacher and she always tells me, uh, don't let the students get to you. So if they don't know what your goat, they don't know where your goat is, and it's funny. Yeah. Can't get your
Yeah.
goat unless they know where it's tied.
Just keep punching until they find it. Their
Exactly.
So Matt, just because I know you and how you behave, Have you been just randomly walking up to your wife and going 6'7"?
No, 'cause I don't even know what it means. I'm like, whatever.
It doesn't. That's the point. It doesn't.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not supposed to.
My niece was doing it, so I'm like,
That's why they think it's so funny.
okay, fair enough.
But like it makes so you can laugh in gym class. You're doing push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4,
6, 7.
5, 6, 7. Ha!
Yeah, fair enough.
This is the thing, Terry. You're probably not around teenagers these days. 6, 7 is a big
I've heard
thing.
about 6, 7.
I mean, I would think it was dumb, except that I've seen it bring so much joy to so many kids. And it's like, okay, it doesn't matter if it's dumb anymore.
Yep.
If you're taking that kind of joy out of something that doesn't hurt anybody,
Yeah, exactly.
have at it.
Well, when we were kids, if we came up with something like that, it was quickly labeled as something's hidden satanic code.
Yeah,
The Da
of
Vinci
course.
Code. These kids have broken the Da Vinci Code, and that's the start of it right there.
Right.
We could write a whole book about that.
Okay, so
I actually did write or read a scholarly piece on Gen Y and absurdist humor, and like making the argument that what it has to do with is like when we think of some of the crazy stuff over the last 20 years, we're comparing it to a world that wasn't always a ton better, but at least seemed better. Like we remember a pre 9/11 world. We
Yep.
remember a world where like a mass shooting like would result in something more than thoughts and prayers from people who sent out Christmas cards of them holding their automatic weapons.
Yep.
These kids don't have memories of that. Their entire world feels absurd to them.
They've had active shooter drills.
Right. They've grown up with active shooter drills. They've, you
Yep.
know, they're on their second Trump presidency and they can't even drive yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when everything that scares you is absurd, why not find absurd, funny things? Too?
Yeah, no kidding. You're spot on.
I mean, clearly we're in a world where meaning doesn't mean what it used to mean or what our parents think it means. I mean, it's like the Princess Bride. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yep.
And like I read that, I'm like, I don't know if it's 100% on mark, but this makes sense to me. This totally feels like my kids. My kids at school is like, yeah, okay. I brought that up with Belle when she was in town too, and she's like, "Yep, that's totally our generation."
Yep. Yep.
His daughter has joined the book club, and she got to stay with me. I'm gonna brag for you here.
Thank you.
Somehow this schlub raised a girl that is she 21 yet?
She is 21, yes.
Okay. At 21, got to do work at the Argonne National Laboratory.
Particle accelerator.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that's why she stayed with me, is because I live in Chicago and I gave her a ride to go use the particle accelerator. Yep. So he may seem like a schlub, but well, no, it's probably her mom.
I was gonna say I'm married to Francine, so that's why.
Somebody told me today that daughters tend to take more after their fathers, and
I have two.
Take more after their mothers.
I have two daughters, and one takes more after me, and one takes more after her mother.
It's just the flick of the draw.
Yep.
That actually does lead to a question that I have. Are we ever going to get to see Ketchu and Francine just be parents?
Yeah, you've only seen it for about a page.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Yeah.
I've actually thought about, in my mind, they're aging.
Mm-hmm.
People don't necessarily want to see that, but
Are
When I'm
you kidding
drawing,
me? How long have the Hernandez brothers been having their characters age? People like aging characters. How
That's
long did Gasoline Al? I mean, he
yeah,
just died at 104.
it's a misconception. Growing up, I was always like, how is Spider-Man still in high school? I mean,
Right.
you know?
yeah, that's a trick. I mean, if you thought about how you would handle that to keep him there, uh,
Hmm.
in the little golden era. But yeah, I mean, that's a real head thinker right there. I mean, um, when I draw Francine and Kachu for myself, I draw them mid 30s, late 30s.
Okay.
When I draw them for the public, I try to stay closer to what they look like in the book. But
Let's
I'm,
see. I'd love to see the mid to late 30s.
yeah, because for me, they're real.
Yeah.
And because I've been through a bunch of decades,
Right.
We have
I
to.
love them at every decade.
Yeah.
You know, there
I
is
mean,
no less charming decade. I mean, once you love somebody, they're just more beautiful with every decade you see them in.
there are so few comics that age anywhere near real time or even really at all. But there's something special about like every one of them, whether it's Gasoline Alley or For Better or Worse or Love and Rockets, being able to not only age with those characters, but have those characters age with you
Hmm.
is such a special thing.
The trick for the creator is you've got to replace
Yeah.
if you have something magical in your combination, character combination, and you remove it, you've got to replace it with something because you
Hmm.
Right.
don't want you one of the tropes you can fall into as a writer is just to start going down all the reality trails and it's all about loss. Okay, now we've lost a mother, we've lost a parent, the
Hmm.
children are all gone, the house is empty, you're lonely, empty nest, blah blah blah. Oh, give me a break.
I mean, don't get me
So
wrong,
you
there are a lot
have
of
to
good stories there. I mean,
you can do that, but there's got
but
to be a point to it. I mean,
right.
there's got to be a point to like, okay, what are you going to do with your main character after they've gone through all that? Because middle-aged can is not a rose garden, and but why would we want to read about somebody's life at that point when they're 40? And there's a lot of great reasons. So
Yep.
you as a writer need to know, don't just start taking crap away, put something back in there. And that really means you need to
Well, and
be,
that's one of the reasons I asked the question because you have put something in there. We, we've met those children, but
yeah.
only just, and
Well, in
I
my mind, the kids are already uh,
probably teenagers by
like
now, at
preteens,
least.
like yeah,
Yeah,
Hmm. At
preteens.
least, yeah.
Well, actually, in 5 years, we did see them more. We saw Francine and
we did.
them, yeah, and they were like 6 and all that.
And
Uh,
that's part of what made me start to like crave even more, just even if it was just a one shot to be able to have just nobody has to run off and save the world. Nobody's about to get killed. Nobody just like I mean, my friend Andrew Iden is writing a series at DC right now called oh God, what's it called? Essentially the Justice League cooking. Taste of Justice. It's a vertical scroll comic, but it's the Justice League cooking. It like the first issue was Flash making chocolate chip cookies, but of course, because there are things that require waiting, he messes up batch after batch after batch because he's just, you know,
Too fast.
um, I would love to just have Kachu and Francine and the girls cooking or wrapping Christmas presents or.
that's kind of what Sip Kids was for me.
Mhm.
Sip Kids was the Sip Gang as the 5-year-olds or 6-year-olds, and an entire issue would be about soccer practice
Yep.
or Halloween night or
Mhm.
one afternoon at the ski resort. And it was so fun because it was just hanging out and just being the gang of friends. And even the littlest thing could be entertaining for a page if you write
Yep.
it correctly,
Mhm.
It was a joy not to have to think of big John Wick reasons to get up off the chair, but
Right.
just sit there and have a conversation that makes you laugh. And
My wife has made me 2 T-shirts that have the Francine Katchu David triptych on both sides, but one side is the adults and one side is the SIP kids. The one that I wear the most is the one that has the SIP kids on the front.
That's really cool. I
Yeah.
should make that shirt too.
Yeah.
I would love that. That's very cool. That's very thoughtful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
The-
I agree with you. Real life can be extremely entertaining.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, and that was, you know, I mean, Strangers in Paradise. I loved a lot of the weird Parker girl stuffs and David's story and whatnot. But when I loved it the most was when it was just Ketchu and Francine trying to figure out how to not kill each other or allow themselves to love each other
And
or
make it
all of
work.
the above.
Yep. Yep.
but one thing I didn't want was just to have them in a domestic setting and will they, won't they, arguing, good day, bad day, somebody's going to band practice, somebody's doing drugs. I didn't want to do that story. Somebody else was already doing that story.
And
So,
that's fair.
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
and I had met in my previous
But they're
career.
getting older now. They're not supposed to be like death defying quite the same amount.
Right, right. Yeah, that's right.
One of these days, Katchu's going to try to jump from one plane to another and she's going to miss.
They should go bust her head.
You're talking about Tom Cruise. It's just a matter of time for that dude.
But I won't care as much.
The one thing there's a downside to this. The downside is like Jason Bourne. Um, It's so sad to see Jason Bourne get older over the course of the movies. I really loved him at stage one. I wish we could have had 4 movies made that year. Um, but then as he gets older, you think, well, he's not going to be able to run all the way down that train station.
Yeah.
you know.
I mean,
But he was so bloody cool.
that's only because Matt Damon's not as cool as Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but it's also in the script, so I think he can do it.
So yeah, I like the real stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Well,
take
and I love. I mean, I'm excited that you said that there's another Motor Girl.
Yeah.
Is that the one
But
shot
when
you're
we
talking about?
left, the Motor Girl story, she was ready to go home and see her mom. She hadn't
Yeah.
yet to go home and see her mom.
Yeah.
She was going to go do that, and yeah, things happen.
That was the one shot, right?
hmm
Have you thought about tying the one shots together somehow so that it kind of like a disjointed story where they can somehow connect?
No, I hadn't. What my goal was to do. I don't know if you guys read the Ian Fleming books, the James Bond books.
Couple of them.
I read them all when I was like, 13. I binge read them. And in the middle of all the big books with the main stories that have now all become movies, there was a book of short stories, James Bond short stories. There were like 5 of them. Been trying to remember. I can't remember what the name of that book was. It looked like all the others, just a little paperback book. And maybe it was Live and Let Die. No, because that was the guy. It had one of the titles that became a movie. Anyway, it was just a bunch of short stories, and they were delightful. And I wanted this to do that, to take 5 disconnected stories and put them in one anthology, and that it does connect in the big world. But I let the big books carry that load. I just
Nice.
want one shots to be entertaining.
Okay.
Because especially since the Strangers in Paradise happened in the 1860s, 1870s.
Well, so it's got to be the prequel.
Yeah, it's maybe a prequel. Maybe I'll do it, and it would be easy to do a prequel for all of them, actually. If I did a prequel for Echo, it would be everything leading up to Annie doing the flight check over in the Mojave Desert that ends up in page 1 of Echo. Same thing with Rachel. What happened the day before we started the Rachel Rising book? Things like that.
The James Bond short story book was For Your Eyes Only. It
There you go.
included
There
it
you go.
included From a View to a Kill,
Yeah.
uh, For Your Eyes Only, Quantum of Solace, Risiko, the Hildebrand Rarity. Yeah, that's it. So 3 of them have.
And one of them, I guess the Hildebrand Rarity or something like that, it wasn't even a James Bond story. It was James having a drink with someone. They told their story.
Okay. So he's like
Like a Sandman twist.
He was the listener.
yeah. I mean that's always fun when you can be like character and crypt keeper all at once. It's a way to
That's
be
when
able to
you're
tell all sorts of
that's when you're
different
world building.
stories.
Your
Right.
world building there, and your character has a whole world around them, and everything you can add to it just is building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of how the Terryverse has come about, is like you started with this epic thing, but there were characters here and characters there, and you built around them, and then those characters wound up in other books and so on and so forth. And
Yeah, and they all have their little details, and it just adds to the imagery.
yeah.
You know, again, like an AI picture, if you're looking at an AI picture of a cafe on a rainy street, you start looking in the window of the cafe, and they put every little thing they can think of in there.
Right.
Make it look like, oh, I love all those things. Oh, there's candles, there's a teacup, and books, and a writing pad,
Books in 17 different languages and
and no language. Just you look at it, and it's
right.
Martian cryptic.
Right.
There's no real
Is
writing.
this cafe in Paris, or is it in out
Just
of
around the corner. It's
right.
just around the corner in your dreams.
Right. Oh. Yeah. AI scares me.
Me too.
I hate it. And I think
I don't like it. I have trouble hating tools. I do hate when people don't understand what the tools are for or try to use them in ways that they're not designed for or whatnot. Like using a large language model to search through every medical journal when you're trying to diagnose something would be brilliant. But you would want it trained only on reputable medical journals.
Right.
I mean, you can already tell what law firms are using proprietary large language models that are only trained on Westlaw versus the ones that are using ChatGPT, because the ones that are using the proprietary models, their briefs are a little bit drier if they don't go through and punch them up, but they've got like really great sourcing and like dig up cases that are real, but
But
nobody
it's,
had thought about in a long time.
yep.
Versus if you use ChatGPT, not only is the writing bad, but like half of the cases don't exist.
Or don't
They
apply.
took
Yeah.
the case from For Your Eyes Only
Mm-hmm.
and treated it like it was real.
Right.
So like the technology itself has purposes, but right now a lot of what it's being used for isn't what it was designed for, and really isn't something that it's good at.
Well, but Tad, it's the people who are directing it. If you
Yeah.
take the top 1% of the 1%, those are the people directing this thing. Clearly, it's not going to be for the people.
So I think I heard Matt Fraction talking about it, and I loved his thoughts. He's like, AI's. I'm not. He's like, I'm not actually worried about AI taking my job long term as a writer. Sure, they're going to try once or twice,
Of
but
course.
like, it doesn't write well.
Hmm.
Might be able to take a script and go, this could be made better by adding this, but it won't add that in well. You'll still need a writer to do that. So,
Hmm.
in the long run, if it becomes involved in the creative process, the people it's going to replace are the executives giving notes.
Yep. And they'll give better notes
It will
than
give
the
better
executive.
notes than,
Yeah.
than,
Yeah.
than that like guy making $1 million because reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's going to take a long time before anybody acknowledges that, oh no, that's the person who should be replacing. It should be replacing the stupid money guy, not the low paid creative, because
Working guy. Yeah.
it's one thing to say this will be better with a car chase, and it's another thing to like make that car chase good.
Hmm.
You know, and it's not designed to truly be generative. You know, our tech is nowhere near something that's designed to be truly generative. It's designed to plagiarize.
Yeah. To mine data and
Right.
regurgitate it.
Right.
Troperative.
Yeah.
It's not
That's good.
generative, it's troperative.
Yeah.
It's a new
Yeah.
word.
So, Matt, do you have any other good questions? Because this is school night for me, so I might move into my favorite closing question if you don't have
My
one
only
to
question,
at you.
Terry, 3i Atlas. Have you heard of it? Is it a comet? Is it an alien ship?
The what?
3i Atlas, the comet? You haven't heard.
Oh, yeah, the big guy.
Oh, okay, good.
Um, yeah, it is a slightly smaller than a planet, and there's a 1 trillion zillion billion of them out there. And the fact that we're not hit by them on a regular basis is a bloody miracle.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, there's one, and if you get into physics and space have a lot in common.
Mhm.
You get into the human body, and this smaller you go and look at the makeup of us, we're really a vast amount of space with little
Oh
things.
yeah.
Well, the galaxy and the universe is the same way. Maybe we're all just little things in one great big body,
Mhm.
but this stuff is flying around all over the place. And no matter how you think we got here or how this planet got here, it is an absolute miracle that it's still here.
Mm.
We're on it and it's still here. But
See,
can't take
I
it for
now
granted.
have a third theory. You were wondering if it was a comet or a spaceship, Matt. What if it's a white blood cell?
Yeah, exactly. Coming to kill us because we're a fucking virus.
It's seeking out cancerous life in the universe, which we may qualify now.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah. And they'll just eat us right up. If it makes a U-turn, we're in trouble.
Big time. Start slowing down, big time.
It's slowing down.
Oh,
What?
I love that.
It's slowing down, sir. Yeah. My wife's favorite movie is Independence Day.
Okay.
So if there's anything fishy, she'll know it first.
Okay. Well, then you have to keep us posted.
Yes, yes, please.
I am so enamored with movies where something appears and just hovers over one of the cities, and everybody is just like, what? And it
Mhm.
kills me that even when there's something hovering over the city, the spaceship or whatever, there's always still cars driving. Did you not see it?
Yep, they didn't. No
There's
one
still
looks.
traffic on Main
People
Street.
don't look up.
No, they
Yeah.
see it, but
Okay.
they've got an appointment to get to.
Yeah, there's still taxi cabs running and stuff like that.
Right.
Mhm.
I
The-
mean, just because we might get annihilated is no reason to be late for lunch.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got to get this thing returned to Amazon before the spaceship lands.
That's right.
Yeah, they won't have time to actually refund you though.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to get a nasty email from me. What if the aliens land and they're wonderful?
I think they would be. Actually, that's
They're not going to be
one of
worse than us.
one of
They're
my
delightful.
favorite One of my favorite comics recently is Money Shot by Tim Seeley and a number of other people, where essentially the premise is like life form came to Earth and decided that we weren't worthy and went away rather than giving us like the cures to things and whatnot. Um, but then like the bunch of scientists that like were part of the reason that they'd come to Earth because they'd managed to crack interstellar travel, blah blah blah, were having funding issues, and they figured out that the best way to make the money to do their science was to have a porn site of them doing things with aliens, and hence Money Shot.
Makes sense.
It
And
reminds me.
it's wickedly satirical and whatnot all at once.
It'll never be as good as the sex scene in The Pro.
Oh no, that's
Classic, legendary.
yeah. Yeah.
Watermark. That's the watermark, the high mark.
I think my favorite part of that is when he flies up to save the plane and the kid looks out the window and goes, "Mommy, is that cover your eyes?"
Hmm.
My God, woman, move your head.
It's so wrong to quote all these things.
Amanda Connor does just fantastic work.
So, Matt, you have a
Yes.
Parker tattoo on your
Oh,
elbow?
no, I wish I did. No, I've got Spider-Man with his spider sense, and then I've got just regular Spider-Man. I'm going to fill all this in with comic panels and villains and stuff, but
Well, I mean, you got Parker on either side, so you need a Parker girl in between. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
maybe I'll throw the tulip in there or the flower. I'm sorry.
If you do that, you'll have strangers walking up and doing the secret handshake, because there's quite a little group of covert Parker girls out there. We should have a convention of just Parker girl people with Parker girl tattoos. I bet we could get like 30 people at the convention.
I bet you
Chicken
we
pizza
could.
with pepper on it.
Soon to be 31.
31.
All right, Terry. Last question. Tell me something you love. Preferably a comic, but we don't have rules. Preferably storytelling, but again with the rules. But something you love that not enough people around you have experienced and you need them to because you want more people to talk about it with.
All right, I'll give you one. Spirit of Wonder by Kenji Sonoda. T.S.
Spirit of Wonder.
T-S-U-T-U-R-O.
I
Published
don't
by
know if I
Dark
know this
Horse.
one.
Yeah, Spirit of Wonder from Dark Horse. I became a fan of Kenji before that. He was a very famous manga guy, and came up with this beautiful book, and it was absolutely charming. It's a story of a just sweet young lady named Miss China who runs a boarding house, and in the attic is a nutty professor and his a handsome young assistant who has sparks with Miss China. And it's just a goofy domestic thing happening around this little boarding house in a very quaint area of Japan somewhere. And kooky things happen. And the inventor uh, drives Miss China crazy with all the crazy stuff going on. But at the end of the first issue, he gives her a peace offering because the invention he was creating managed to write uh, something, happy birthday, Miss China, on the moon. And it's a full moon that night and she gets to see it. So
Nice.
there's some magic to it, you know. It's one of the
No, it
charming little manga stories I've ever read.
yeah, I'm looking at the cover here and just loving it. So
Yeah, he's
this
great.
just went high on my list of things to track down read because I mean, frankly, anything you recommend is going to go pretty high on my list of things to track down and read. But
That was maybe the last, I went through a real manga period for 2 years before I started my career. That was one of the last ones I read. I was reading other stuff too, like Sanctuary and all the other guys. Um, but then I read that one and absolutely fell in love with Miss China and the whole setup. And I thought,
right.
that's what I want to do with my story is have a character that we could fall in love with. And he was very inspirational to me. The story is very charming and good natured. Might be a good for people nowadays that have their nerves are a wreck to read something like that and take a break from the world.
Hey, like we have a monthly book club called the the Joy, Resistance, Hope, and Survival Book Club, where we pick out books for one of those purposes. Either to get our mind off of the world or to figure out how to survive and resist in the world. Sometimes all of the above, but like this is already feeling like a winner.
Yeah, it's a win. And I don't know where I put the thing, but um, yeah, Kenji is really cool. And here's just an art book of his. He's done so much. He's just a wonderful artist. But the story is delightful.
Hey Terry, will you always do black and white, or will you do color stuff eventually?
Um, when it's colored right, it takes it to a whole new level. But the reason I stayed black and white all these years was because I didn't have time to color. Unlike a
Right.
big house that's
Yeah,
working.
yeah, yeah.
So I stayed black and white. But would I do color in the future? I mean, we've always talked about colorizing Strangers in Paradise.
That was actually going to be my follow-up question is there have
Well, if
been
you're going
some
to start
really
somewhere, start at the beginning.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, there have been some really impressive colorization jobs done recently. I like what Stan Sakai's done with Usagi. I like what Eddie Campbell did with From Hell. Um,
And
you
if you
know,
get it right, if it's done right, it brings out the dimensions. You get
Yeah,
back
absolutely.
into a 3D world instead of a
Yep.
flat.
Yes.
So it's good, but if it's wrong and somebody just starts doing over rendering and muscles and all that, that now you've got a nightmare. So it really depends on who it is. It has to be somebody that's from, the indie world and understands design, not just comic book coloring, but
Mhm.
right.
understands like modern art, 20th century art, and all the different art levels, when something needs to be from the 1920s or the 1950s, there's a big difference. I don't
Mhm.
want somebody that has spent their whole life coloring an image. There has to be somebody who's a painter, uh,
Yes.
a real painter who's a bit more talented than me and really can paint real stuff. And then they go back into something, my cartooning, and then they can just they can bring it to a level that I can only imagine.
Right.
I'm real adverse to traditional comic book coloring where everything's over rendered and a lot of times
I don't blame you.
sometimes the
Well, I
colorist
mean,
doesn't even really know anatomy as well as the artist and they try to put it in there and it's not right and it's really
if you're
offensive for an artist.
if you're talking late '90s stuff, yeah, absolutely. But what about like the early, you know,
When it's flats
yeah, CMYK with the screens and
and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We were looking at comics. Oh, when I did my last YouTube thing last weekend, I went through my favorite comic box down here and I was pulling out comics from the 90s. And I felt compelled to tell young viewers, guys, this was Photoshop 3.0. That's why all you're seeing is cuts. But on the other hand, look how clean it's printing. So you're not with the 1960s offset press where nothing matches. And
And your
then
halftones are, yeah.
you're before the 90s when a lot of half-trained people went crazy with their rendering
Hmm.
and ruined all those drawings. I say that because I have experiences like that, like from when I did Lady Supreme, and I did a nice ink drawing, and then they sent it down to the Mike Diodato studios down in South America, and it came back and they painted her up like a stripper with stripper boobs and removed my line work and ruined it. And it's been an embarrassment my whole life. So the colorist
You
isn't all.
know, you know where a lot of great color was done earlier than a lot of places was at Milestone. We've got a Milestone book club, so we've been going through the old static and icon whatnot, and like because they were determined to have more realistic multicolored characters, not just all white guys, not all one hue for black guys, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
In general, they did a lot of really fascinating color work, particularly for that like 93, 94, 95 era where we're finally printing in a way where you could do slightly better colors than had been done in the United States before then, but not a lot of people had like started truly taking advantage of it.
Yeah, when it if you had asked me this question 10 years ago, I simply would have said I would color it in a European style.
That was what I was going to say next is otherwise Europeans have been doing fantastic colors for 30 or 40 years.
Hmm.
And if I had to
Uh,
give a quick description, that would be desaturated flats.
yeah,
Uh, and you don't get tricky with the characters. And if you want to do blends, well, they can be on the landscape or the background, but you don't screw up the couch and the character. And I always had this fantasy, even in the 90s, that if you did color my people, like my art, that it would be flats on the characters and then blends on the clothing or cuts on the clothing and just super delicate blend, only two color blend on the skins, things like that. I mean, I've really thought it through.
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
My nightmare, I mean, I'm getting mad just thinking about it, but my nightmare is to get somebody who has been coloring for 4 years and they're just in there rendering everything and every shadow and all these muscles and all that. I hate it.
Well,
Really
but this is the
strong
advantage of
opinion.
the fact that you do everything via Kickstarter now, is that you can totally make the decision on who would do
Hmm.
it if you decided to do a colored
Absolute
version.
control. Yep.
You know, one of the problems I ran into is there's a lot of frustration in black and white. Um, Over here, Motor Girl.
I love Monarch.
There's a scene in here where my character Aunt Libby is playing tennis with her friend,
Hmm.
and I'll show this to you, and I'll show you the frustration I had with it because it's somewhere in the middle of the story. Cut
My
to commercial.
daughter Isabel loves Motor Girl, by the way.
Motor Girl is my favorite too.
My wife's favorite. Um, it's a heartfelt story.
Hmm.
Here she is. Okay. This page is Aunt Libby, my cranky old lady, and she's playing
Hmm.
with a friend. Well, if you see the drawing, you know, her friend doesn't, she's black, but that doesn't show in the drawing. And so that's the most visible problem that I had with like, I have everybody in here is a different color.
Right.
It just doesn't show in black and
Right.
white. The advantage of that is it makes you focus on human beings and what they're saying, as opposed to like giving you quick targets like, oh, I just don't like people that color,
Right.
or they even open their mouth. So there's an advantage to working in black and white. You strip it down to the human being. But the other problem that I ended up with that is a problem that still has no answer. And I brought it up a couple of times in panels, and everybody just sits there with a blank look on their face. They've never thought about it. Um, would you like to hear it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The tennis partner is trans.
Oh,
So I drew her with the identity she wants, which means she doesn't look trans in a drawing.
right.
So if you and I were standing in front of her, eventually you might think, well, she's trans. But in a book, when you're drawing, how do you say that? How do you show that? Because there are no other cues for that. And one of the other things I did in my books, you may notice, um, speaking of sexual identity, is males get rectangle balloons, females get round balloons.
Oh,
And it sounds
I don't think I
binary
caught
until
that.
you think it through, because the trans lady gets the balloon she wants. So in that
Yes.
sense, I'm like, you get what you want. You're a human being. If this is how you want to walk, that's your walk. If that's how you want to talk, that's your talk. So I'm standing united, but I mean, I guess in the sense that finally that only on the printed page does the trans lady get exactly what she wants, which is I am a woman and
Hmm.
cannot tell the difference.
Hmm.
Maybe it's actually a very beautiful thing.
Existing as she wants to be. Yep.
Exactly as she wants to be when you
Yep.
get her um, into the story. So, but how many trans characters have you seen in comics?
Yeah, no, I can't.
Because there's a problem with how do you depict a trans character respectfully and with love
Yep.
I mean,
and
that's
not a
actually where I'll
satire.
go back to Milestone again. They had a trans detective, and some people treated her very much with love, and other of her coworkers didn't. But the character
Well,
itself was
when you say,
treated.
and you don't mean just a short haircut and a suit.
No, I mean she was explicitly trans. In fact, she was also written by Maddie Blaustein, who was also trans and coming out as trans at the time. Um, so I don't even know if Maddie was writing as Maddie yet when she wrote that comic.
I have a feeling, speaking of artists, that Jeff Jones was always drawing himself as a woman. All that beautiful Jeff Jones art.
Yeah.
Um, who's one of the first artists I can think of that was trans in the modern era. Um,
Yeah.
like Jeff to me.
It's almost got a Maxfield Parrish feel to it.
Well, I mean, he was just absolutely fucking brilliant.
Hmm.
One of my very first heroes in art. Um, but I think whereas originally he started off doing more Frazetta things and things like that, but he eventually found his own voice and her own voice, I should say, because then he changed. But I have a feeling he was painting his mental landscape. This is
Yeah.
how I want to walk through the world. This is how I want to be seen in the world. You
So
know,
this is how I will present myself. Yes.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
and it took him years to come up with, the decision to do that, the courage to do that. So pretty amazing. But it's tricky. The sexual conversation is very tricky in the world of art when you're talking about portrayals, as
Oh my
opposed
God.
to we all
Yeah.
thought it was much easier when, oh, okay, well, I think I know a lesbian when I see one, but how do you know a trans person when you see one? You're not supposed to satirize or
Hmm.
characterize or just what's the most respectful, loving way to do that? You have to be honest to what they want. not to where they came from, but where they're going, I guess.
And unfortunately, most people aren't raised to do that.
No, no, most, yeah, most,
Though there are a surprising number of comics to help them. I
yeah.
mean, trans identity has become, particularly in the indie comic world, I mean, it's a safe place. It's a way to tell stories.
You know, when you look at the animal world and the world of creatures on this planet, we love all the in-betweens,
Mhm.
variations. How in the world do you think you can get, 4 billion people and not have variations is beyond me.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
not, we're not
The
allowed-
world is a spectrum. It is not binary.
Right.
For God's
Well,
sake.
and we hit 4 billion people like 100 years ago. We're at 8 billion now. So, I mean,
Yep.
Okay, that's not my fault. I'm just saying.
I mean,
nothing to
I
do with
heard
that.
some things.
I had nothing to do with that. I think a lot of that was Mick Jagger's fault. So
Okay.
Or Keith
Yeah,
Richards. I don't know.
yeah.
that was the Rolling Stones' fault. All the rock star. We probably gained 3 million people during the rock industry years.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Roadies
yeah.
alone.
Well, Terry, it is always a pleasure. Definitely have to have a meal when you're in Chicago next year. Send Matt your sketch because then we'll make T-shirts and I'll deliver
And the
one
schedule
in
for
Chicago next year.
Chicago next year, I'll try and be there.
Yeah, he
I got
made
a
himself a
note.
note.
Just send you a
Gwen.
Gwen sketch. And you said it.
Yeah,
You said
Gwen
it was
sketch,
a really
and
bad
I get the one that you made just right now.
one. Okay.
Yeah,
The self portrait.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I could go with a Picasso thing and say it took me my whole career to learn how to draw like that.
Sure.
Well, you wouldn't be wrong.
Getting better.
It has been it is always a pleasure, Terry.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
I
guys.
love that you keep being willing to come back. For 22 panels, this has been Terry Moore and Matt. Take us out.
We'll continue after the next page.